Welcome to the latest and greatest market update for Sarasota and Manatee counties for our real estate market. We're going to go over all the statistics of what happened from June to July 2023, and we're currently at the end of August, so this data is a little bit old. But let's get started. We're going to go over 5 metrics. First metric is the total number of sales. Unfortunately, we went from 2,200 to just a little under 1,800 sales. That's almost a 20% decrease. All that means is that from June to July, we actually sold 20% less homes month on month. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And the answer is it depends if you're a buyer or a seller. If you are a seller, then the inventory might be creeping up a little bit, but we'll get into that. That's one of our other metrics. Now, if you're a buyer, then good news for you. There's probably some less competition out there for you because you can tell that month on month, less people are buying. All right, now our second metric is the median sales price. And this is a really interesting statistic because what we're seeing from month on month, and in general, if you just watch the old videos of the monthly market update, you're going to see that every month it goes up a little bit, goes down a little bit, goes up a little bit, and down a little bit. Whenever there's a big change of 5, 10, 20%, the next month seems to have the opposite change. So really, what you want to know is this. Prices seem to be going even. And yeah, there's a little fluctuation up and down, but overall, prices are not dropping like people expected about a year ago. Now, have they dropped from a year ago? Like this much. So overall, if you're a buyer and you're waiting for that excellent opportunity for prices to crash, you might be waiting for a while, and I'll discuss that in a moment, why that is. And by the way, if you're a buyer and you're waiting, what is happening to interest rates? They are going up. So you cannot afford as much, and you're going to have to drop down to a lower price point because interest rates seem to keep going up. We're currently in the high 7s, low 8s, and we are expected to have at least 1, possibly 2 more rate hikes before this year ends. Okay, now our third metric is our inventory, which is basically the number of months of supply that we have. And if you look at this chart, what you're going to see is the following. We still don't have enough homes for sale. Now, listen to that clearly, because if you're a buyer, you don't have that many options to pick from. That is the reality. If you know anybody who is shopping for a home right now, ask them if there is an abundance of homes, and they're going to say no. So if you're a seller, great, you don't have that much competition. It's still officially a seller's market, although it doesn't feel like one. It feels like a buyer's market. And if you're a buyer, well, then good news is that you can still negotiate a little bit on the price. Things are selling for about 97% of the list price, not the original list price, but the most recent list price to the sales price. It's about 97%. So you can get about 2-3% off at this moment. However, we don't have that many homes. Our inventory is screaming at us saying we do not want to sell our homes. We're not giving up our interest rates that are 3%, 4%, 5%, especially when we're going to have to buy a new home, and this new home is going to be at 7 or 8%. So people are just staying put, putting up with what they got. Even if they have to move, a lot of people are choosing to keep the home and make it a rental. Okay, let's get into our fourth metric. And this is the number of days that it takes from you listing your property to it going under contract, list to contract days. And here's what is happening. It is increasing a little bit. From June to July, it increased a little bit, but it is still at unbelievably low days. Now, obviously, Manatee condos are, for some reason, the worst this month, but watch, it's going to bounce back next month. That's just kind of what happens as well with this statistic. But if you're a seller, just know that from the time that you list to the time you get a contract, it's going to be roughly 30 to 45 days. And that is slightly increasing, but it is still such a low days on the market. In fact, if you just go back in time, go talk to some older people that were in the business maybe 30 years ago, 25 years ago, 20 years ago. What are they going to say? They're going to say, not will your home sell within 30 days, but will your home sell at all? Because 300 days on the market was something you would see on a regular basis. Now, I know that sounds scary and just unbelievable, and if you're a seller, just know that we are not in that position. Right now, your home will sell if you price it right. Our market is not in shambles. Now, could it go there? Who knows, right? Who knows what the government will do? Who knows the influences on the interest rates and in general consumer confidence? So now also keep in mind, if you're a buyer, pay attention to this. This is what I'm doing with my buyers. Whenever they want to see a home, I'm always pointing out how many days on the market has this home been. And the reason I do that is because if they are truly interested and want to make an offer on it, then, and I see something like 65 days, then I know they are beyond the statistical averages and I can probably negotiate a little bit more. Now, if it's only 5 days on the market, 7 days on the market, there's probably a little less leeway with negotiating some price reduction or maybe seller concessions or something else, right? Okay, and our last and fifth metric is the total active listings that we have. Those are the ones that are available for sale, not the ones under contract, at the end of the month. So from June to July, we had a decrease of only 1.5%. Very, very small change. However, let's take a look at this. Let's take a step back and take a look at what does this mean? Because when we have less homes for sale, and our first statistic was how many homes went under contract and how many sold. And that went 20% less than the month before. What that means to me is that we have way less listings hitting the market. So sellers out there are not willing to sell their home. Just reiterating what I said before, that they don't want to give up their low interest rate for no reason. They're going to be replacing it with a high interest rate. And by high, I mean 7 or 8%, unless they pay a lot of points on their mortgage. So people aren't willing to do that. And this statistics reinforces what I said earlier. If we have 1.5% less homes available for sale, and we had 20% less sales in the month, then that's showing me that we have a pretty drastic reduction of new contracts, new listings hitting the market. So if you're a seller, that's kind of good news. That means that you don't have that much competition. And if you're a buyer, well, unfortunately, you will not have that many options. And can that change? Yes. Will it? We'll see. I am Maciek Zaremba. If you have any questions at all, please give me a call. I work for Fathom Realty and I run a small real estate team. You can reach me at 941-888-SOLD. And if you want to do a quick search on anything that's available, you can go to sarasota.com. Thank you so much for watching.